In a few minutes, we will start the competition. Each presentation will last 4.5 minutes. Immediately after each presentation, we will allow our professional panel to ask the presenter a few questions. And this is the moment to present our professional panel. We have Miss Mary Fulong from Mary Fulong Association, is an event producer and consulting firm for corporation entrepreneurs and investors in the healthcare and longevity marketplace. We have Mr. Max Zamkov from Third Act Venture, a venture capital investing in technologies for aging well from the United States. We have Mr. Aaron Johnston representing Aging 2.0 International organization that is one of the leaders in the age space around the world. We have Mr. Yair Sarusi representing Mediterranean Towers Group Board of Directors, and we have Mr. Bob Grossman representing Greenbank Touring LLP, one of the biggest law firms in the United States and around the world, with more than 40 offices around the world. We have Ms. Karen Etkin, entrepreneur and startup advisor, the writer of the Geron Technologies, a website that covers the global Agetech ecosystem, and the creator of the Agetech Academy. And we have Mr. Mel Barsky from the Center of Aging and Brain Health Innovation, a well-known center of research and innovation. After all the presentation, our panel and you, our judging audience, will choose the winner. I can see that we have, let me see, I cannot see, but we have dozens of judges, and as a viewer, we have around 78 viewers in our contest. Very nice. So let's start with our first presentation. The first company that will present deals with the hearing space, which is known as one of the significant aspects influencing not only the elders' quality of life, but also influence their cognitive abilities and even has influence on the risk of falls. I'm happy to present Audio Cardio.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Ellis, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Audio Cardio. Audio Cardio is an evidence-based mobile app that aims to maintain and restore your natural hearing ability. You can think of us as physical therapy for your hearing, because more than 450 million people suffer from disabling hearing loss, and that number is expected to double in the next 30 years. But the underlying problem is the lack of access to care, the expensive costs, and negative social stigma associated with solutions on the market. This is why more than 85% of the people who could benefit from using a hearing aid don't actually use one. But we shouldn't take hearing loss lightly, as it has many secondary physical and mental health issues associated with it. People with untreated hearing loss are up to 3 times more likely to fall and up to 5 times more likely to have dementia later in life. Individuals with untreated hearing loss also have an increased feeling of loneliness, since they are less likely to engage in social activities and group events. This can lead to further frustration, more isolation, and depression. The Audio Cardio app allows you to quickly assess your hearing and generates a personalized sound therapy that aims to maintain and strengthen your hearing by stimulating the cells just below the audible level. By continuously stimulating these cells, we can cause them to fire together, wire together, so that they can send sound signals to the brain where they are interpreted as meaningful sound. To better explain how our technology works, I'd like to quickly touch upon how we hear. Sound waves travel through the air and are amplified as they pass through our auditory system. Cells inside the ear are passively waiting for enough stimulation before they can activate and fire. Once they receive enough stimulation, they begin to fire and connect to nearby cells so that they can send sound signals to the brain where they are perceived as meaningful sound. So how does Audio Cardio work? After a short assessment using headphones in a quiet room, the app will understand your hearing ability and create a sound therapy just below the audible level to help stimulate these cells. By continuously stimulating these cells with specific sound frequencies, we can create enough stimulation to make them fire and connect. This promotes and supports the necessary pathways for sound to travel from our environment to the brain. And the more these cells fire and connect, the stronger these connections become, the more permanent they are, making it easier for sound to travel from our environment, again, to your brain. And because our sound therapy is inaudible, you can do it passively while you do other activities like going for a walk and even falling asleep. Over the years, we've conducted multiple clinical studies with institutions like Stanford University, Palo Alto Medical Foundation, and Samsung Medical Center, with over 70% of the participants having a change in their hearing by 10 decibels or more within just a few short weeks. Our patent has been granted. We received $50,000 in FDA funding through the CTIP Accelerator Program, and recently won the 2020 Innovation Award from the Center for Aging and Brain Health Innovation, part of the Baycrest Research Hospital in Toronto. Our competition in the marketplace are your traditional hearing aid brands, corrective surgeries, and medications. However, these treatments are expensive, hard to access, and often have a negative social stigma. Only Audio Cardio has a clinically proven technology that can be incorporated into your day-to-day life to strengthen your natural hearing ability without the expensive costs and the negative social stigma. Our business model includes a direct-to-consumer go-to-market strategy to help raise brand awareness and collect more social proof on the efficacy of our technology and solution. From there, we intend to engage in B2B sales, licensing our technology, targeting the brands like the ones you see at the bottom of this slide. There is a tremendous market opportunity given that almost everyone will suffer from some form of hearing loss throughout their lives. The total addressable market is $100 billion globally, and more than 50 million people in the United States suffer from hearing loss. We're a team of technologists and scientists, including my co-founder who holds 5 patents related to hearing. We've been a part of multiple exits, and our advisors are experts in the hearing industry. Please join us in our mission to provide an easily accessible and affordable solution for all people, regardless of their socioeconomic status. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We will open now just for a few questions from our judging panel. So each one of you that wants to ask a question, just raise the hand and let's do it. Max.
Great. Thank you for that. Sounds very interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about how long it takes to get that increase in 10 decibels? How much training does that require? And I'm a little confused. Does it increase the sound that's coming in, or is it increasing the range of frequencies that you can hear?
So the 10 decibel, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, the 10 decibel change occurs over a period of 3 weeks for more than 75% of the people that went through our studies.
Mm-hmm.
It's for 1 hour per day. It's a inaudible sound therapy, so it can be coupled with any other daily activity. You don't have to, set aside separate time to engage in it. And I'm sorry, the last part of your question was? How
does it affect someone's hearing? Is it that it increases the volume of everything that's coming in, or is it increasing, widening the variance of frequencies that you can hear?
We're actually able to show a threshold change, meaning that someone can hear the tones that are being played or the sounds at a lower volume level. So actually trying to improve someone's hearing.
Got it. Thanks.
Another question? Bob? Oh.
Yes.
Okay, Bob.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. You said you were starting with a BDC model and then moving to B2B. Could you describe a little more what you mean, what the B2B model would entail?
Yes, the B2B model would be either software licensing, as we are a software-based solution that can be embedded in all types of other software or hardware devices, as well as talking to larger organizations as part of their wellness program as a benefit to the employees. For instance, organizations in construction or manufacturing that have, a loud noise work environment.
Thank you.
Mary?
Oh, my question is Medicare Advantage programs. Do you see any opportunity for reimbursement by those?
We do. At this stage, we are having very early discussions with different providers about making this a benefit that could be provided to their subscribers.
Is it software only, or you need any equipment?
The only equipment you need would be a smartphone or tablet and any set of headphones.
Okay.
Okay.
So you've got all the equipment in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another question, somebody, or we will move to our second? Yes, Aaron?
Sorry, could you just clarify what the $14.99 per month subscription is? How is that achieved? Who is paying for that in your mind?
Right now in the direct-to-consumer model, it's the consumer. So they're paying a monthly fee to use the solution.
Can I ask a follow-on just related to customer acquisition? So in a direct-to-consumer model, how are you acquiring customers, and do you have a cost for acquisition for customers?
Yes, we are acquiring them through content marketing, information marketing, some performance ads, and our cost of acquisition does fluctuate since we are a early stage company, but we have seen it at around fluctuating between $16 and $18.
Thank you.
And customer lifetime value currently is $48, give or take.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
We will move to our second company. Our second company to present deals with the risk of cognitive decline after surgery under anesthesia. I'm happy to present NeuroIndex.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tamara, the CEO of NeuroIndex. NeuroIndex developed brain monitor to prevent brain damage during anesthesia in elderly patients. Do you know how many surgeries are done for older adults per year? Well, the answer is 19 million surgeries in the United States only, and 100 million surgeries worldwide for this population. And the problem is that 25% of these patients that undergo surgery under anesthesia wake up with cognitive disorders known as PND. And in numbers, it means that every year 5 million people join these statistics in the United States only, and 30 million worldwide. And it's not only a clinical problem, but also an economic burden, as was published a few months ago, a paper that reviewed 2.5 million patients and summarized that there is an additional cost of $19,000 for every PND patient. And per year, the total cost, the treatment cost for the healthcare providers in the United States is $150 billion. And it will only increase since the population is getting older. NeuroIndex solution, we provide a rigorous, reliable, real-time brain health monitor to be used in operating rooms and ICUs in order to improve patient outcomes following surgery under anesthesia. Today in the operating room, the anesthesiologist who is in charge of the patient condition get indication of the patient's vital signs and depth of anesthesia, but these scores do not indicate brain cognitive health. NID, a NeuroIndex device, is the only device to indicate brain damage in real time and give the anesthesiologist an immediate feedback for the brain health during the surgery. Our device consists of two main assets. In the left, you can see our unique, easy-to-use disposable headset that acquires EEG brain signals and AI-based algorithm that calculates and alerts in real-time brain damage. Our initial market is the US open heart surgery, since it's a well-educated market. We have conducted clinical trials for the last 3 years and have a very successful results, more than 200 patients. And in the coming 2 years, we plan to conduct clinical trials in the United States and in Europe and start sales in 2023. Dr. Shimon Eckhoiz is our chairman. He's a well-known serial entrepreneur and investor in Israel and worldwide. Myself have more than 20 years experience in senior management in the Israeli Intelligence Corps. I was retired with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and completed PhD in neuroscience. Dr. Aryeh Taib is our CTO, has PhD in neuroscience and electrical engineering, has more than 15 years experience in electrophysiology. Professor Daniel Sessler, who is the head of Department of Outcome Research in the Anesthesiology Institute at Cleveland Clinic, is in our advisory board, and Dr. Eyal Raz, who is the head of anesthesia department in Rambam Hospital, is our medical advisor. All of us wake up every morning to do what we do in order to fulfill our mission of making sure the people we love never have to risk their cognitive health for their physical health. Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. Does PRD pass with time? Is it like permanent damage?
Sorry, I was mute. PND, postoperative neurocognitive disorders, is an umbrella of several cognitive disorders. Some 10% is for life, and it can be up to 60% of the patients that get a postoperative cognitive decline, and it's best after a few months, even a year. But some of them are permanent. 10% of the cases of postoperative neurocognitive disorders are permanent for life.
Okay. Mel?
I was going to ask a kind of a related question, but how many sensors are on like the EEG device, and like how many measurements is it taking, and why is it disposable? Like, wouldn't you want to use the same device to measure point A versus point B to see if there's an improvement over time or decline?
Okay, 2 questions. We use 4 electrodes that record signals from 4 different locations, a specific location over the scalp. And this enables us to calculate and to alert in real time where there is a brain damage. We calculate, and our algorithm, we use the information from these brain signals in order to check or calculate the brain connectivity level between the 2 hemispheres and in front and back. If something is wrong, we know how, we well know. I hear myself. Do you hear me well? Okay, if you hear me, so it's fine. The next questions that you asked about the disposable, this is our two main issues. First, in the operating room, it's very common to use disposable in order to put a clean device on the patient. And second, this is our business model is based on the disposable headset, and it's also common in operating room to use disposables as the business model.
Karen, you wanted to ask something else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask what was expected of the anesthesiologist if he or she noticed that there is some brain damage going on. Are they supposed to stop the anesthesia? What are they supposed to do?
No, there are several things that they can do during the anesthesia. First of all, they detect this patient as high-risk patient since they know that his brain is suffering during the anesthesia. And they can take several actions. First of all, to pay attention to the blood pressure and to use sort kind of medication and not others. And the most important thing and the advantage of our device is that the anesthesiologist has a real-time feedback during the surgery, whether the action he does during the surgery helps the brain or good deterioration of the brain. And the next advantage of our device is that nowadays the patient diagnosed with PND only after he opens his eyes. And sometimes it can take several hours that this patient is diagnosed. And that's just then the clinician starts taking any action to intervene and help him. But with our device, the patient, even before he opens his eyes, the clinician knows, and the clinical team knows that this patient is going to suffer from postoperative neurocognitive decline. And it is well known that the sooner the better, an immediate intervention will lead to better outcome. So this is very important tool for the, and what is most important is the outcome of the patient after the surgery.
Do we have another question? Yair?
Yeah. What do you still need in terms of testing it in order to be in the market? You said that you will be there in 23, but what are the type of things that you're missing at the moment?
Since we have promising results yet, we need to have a larger scale of clinical trials. We're going to add to the statistics. to our statistics, and we would start doing this in the United States. The next stage of our clinical trials will be an intervention in order to compare between patients that or whether the use of our system decrease the prevalence of PND. The clinical trial that we've conducted till now is observational. The anesthesiologist didn't notice the score that we give about the brain and the brain. And yes, another question?
Okay, last question.
If I
Aaron?
may, yes, thank you. So how, 3 years, 5 years from now, when you're in market, where does this play out? How do you make money? What's the plan for the business over a 5 or 10-year window? Is this to grow? Is it to exit? Is it to license? Is it, where do you see the business in 5 to 10 years?
Okay, there are several opportunities. Also, as you mentioned, exits, but our plan is to start in 2023, to start with 0.25% of the hospitals, and to start with the university hospitals in the United States, as I mentioned in the presentation, in open heart surgeries, which means 14 hospitals. And in 2 years from then, we plan to reach 5% of the market in the United States and start in Europe 2 years later. We will start with open heart surgery and then with the orthopedic surgery and all kinds of surgery. I believe that this product will be a must product in every operating room, in every surgery, just like pulse oximeter.
Thank you, Tamar. We'll go to our third company that is presenting actually two solutions. One deals with the fraud prevention, and the other deals with monitoring and protecting elders with cognitive decline. I'm happy to present Telecalm.
I'm Tavis Schrieffer from Telecalm, where we stop problem calls for families living with Alzheimer's and other dementias. As my mom's caregiver, I learned a lot about the challenges associated with dementia. The incoming telemarketer and scam calls caused her a lot of anxiety, but the biggest problems were the outgoing calls. Buying things from TV ads, calling repeatedly at all hours of the night, plus the unnecessary emergency 911 calls. These are extremely common problems for millions of seniors suffering from dementia. That's why we created Telecalm, to stop these problem calls, reduce senior isolation, and reduce family stress. At the heart of our service is the Caregiver app. Family caregivers subscribe to our phone service for their loved one and manage that service remotely through the Caregiver app. With Telecalm, calls with trusted contacts pass straight through, while suspicious calls and known bad guys are blocked immediately. Using our Caregiver app, family caregivers can prevent all the bad calls, even problem calls the senior makes due to their dementia. Now, among these problem calls are false emergency calls to police, which is a major issue in senior living. 32% of our senior living residents make unnecessary emergency calls, which we reroute to nurses' stations. Most family caregivers subscribe to our service to stop outgoing call problems, but they also love that we block 100% of the incoming telemarketer and scam calls as well. The bottom line is we stop all the bad calls, both incoming and outgoing, which is about 62% of the total calls per month. Now, there's 10 million seniors with dementia in the US. That's 18% of the senior population. Israel has similar numbers, with over 15% of seniors having dementia. We sell directly to the caregiver and work with senior living communities, dementia product websites, and others. This allows us to target family caregivers for the 81% of seniors who live at home and the 19% in senior living communities. Now today, Telecalm is focusing on the Alzheimer's and dementia population with our current home phone offering. Expanding our service with Telecalm Mobile will also expand our market opportunities to include other populations with cognitive challenges. Our total available market is over $10 billion in the US, plus additional opportunities internationally and through licensing and partnerships. Telecom is currently generating $440,000 in annual recurring revenue from over 780 subscribers. We've handled over 2.8 million calls so far, while maintaining a 95% customer satisfaction rating. All of this with our home phone service available now. We're currently developing our dementia-friendly cell phone service that provides all the features and benefits of our landline service, and this will be available later this year. Now, Telecom is simply the best choice for caregivers. While other companies offer some degree of scam protection, only Telecom stops outgoing call problems and is able to restrict calls to only trusted contacts. This positions Telecom to be the leader in phone service for those with cognitive challenges. Now, we're protected by 3 US and European patents, providing great opportunities to grow and partner with larger international companies. Telecom is a veteran and woman-owned social impact company with a really strong team of founders. This is my second startup and my 12th patent, plus I have 11 years in the telecom industry. This is our CTO's second startup, and he has over 15 years in cellular R&D. Our Chief Customer Officer has 8 years telecom experience and 13 years in the social impact space. We all have years of experience in the senior living industry and have been caregivers ourselves. We've raised over $750,000 in previous rounds and are preparing our next round now. Please reach out if you'd like to learn more. I'm Tavis Schrieffer, and this is Telecom. Thank you.
And I have a question. So, Tavis, do you only allow calls, both incoming and incoming and outgoing, to specific numbers? So any unknown numbers will be blocked?
Yes. So by default, it has to be just the trusted contacts. So the family members put contacts into the app just like you would in your own cell phone, and only those contacts would be allowed to call in, and the loved one would be able to call out too. When strangers call, they go immediately to our system's voicemail, which goes to the caregiver for them to be able to listen to that voicemail and evaluate.
Okay, Aaron?
And you talked about revenue, which is exciting. So 440,000. How is that growth represented over the last couple of years? What's your projected revenue for next year?
Sure. So over the last couple of years, well, a lot of it has been over the last year. Last year we ended up with 325,000 ARR. By the end of the year, we believe we'll be around 720 in ARR. And by 2023, we're projecting 5.8 million in ARR based on Telecom Mobile also coming out later this year.
And how is that revenue generated? What are the services that are being paid for?
Sure. So we are a telephone replacement service. So we would replace AT&T, Verizon, or whatever the landline service is that they currently have. We actually would replace that service, not an add-on amount. And it's at $50 a month. And then the caregiver app goes along with that. With Telecom Mobile, however, it won't be replacing the add-on service on the cellular side. It'll merely be an app installed on their cell phone, and they can just pay that $15 a month on average in the US to just add on to a family plan. That way it's more inexpensive for them and extremely high profit for us on that particular service.
And how much are you seeking to raise? That's many questions. That's the last one.
Yeah, we're looking at $1 million for the second seed here.
Okay.
And what can you say about other services, competition in this market? Is it are they players already? I mean, the big you mentioned the big telecom companies, for example. Are they giving such services?
No, they don't. The closest you could really compare us to would be Great Call. Great Call's what used to be the Jitterbug. Now they've changed it to Lively. It's marketed more for active seniors. And it does not block any of the outgoing calls. It doesn't do spam protection of any type either. And it doesn't manage the call issues like the repeat dialing, late night calling, anything like that. So there really isn't anyone that does that right now.
Who makes the buy decisions on this service?
Sure. So we are B2C right now. So our customer is the family caregiver. We sell directly to the family caregiver, and then they provide the service to their loved ones.
Yeah.
So even in the, I'm sorry, I was going to say, even in the senior livings where we are, it's in most cases, it's still the family member that has made that decision and brought it into the senior living.
Okay. Bob, last question.
Sorry, I was muted. You mentioned Israel and the U.S. As markets. Are you in both markets now? And if you're not in the U.S., then what is the plan to get there?
Sure. So we're based in Dallas. So we're absolutely in the U.S. We are in 45 states right now in the U.S. We are not in any other countries right now, but with our international patents, we are open to licensing opportunities in those other countries rather than trying to grow out to them ourselves, because there's a substantial market here in the U.S. that we're tackling right now.
Okay, thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Our fourth company has developed a platform for both leisure and promoting physical activity using fun games. I'm happy to present iClick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariel Almos. I'm the founder and CEO of iClick. At iClick, we believe in the power of play to improve cognitive and physical skills and enhance social interaction in a way that is both fun and natural to all of us at every age. We invented Obi, a sophisticated but simple to use interactive projector that turns any space to an immersive play area that can be operated with natural hand and body movements. Obi can be used on any surface, whether it's floors, walls, or tabletops, and offer a variety of play options. So what are we trying to solve? Many residents in senior living homes may suffer from social isolation, depression, cognitive and physical decline, staff overload, strong limitation on regular activities they used to do. We believe that Obi has the ability to solve, or at least improve, many of these issues with a variety of games that were specifically designed with a team of experts from diverse backgrounds, from gaming to psychology and gerontology. These games are highly engaging and encourage movement, cognitive activity, and social interactions. Obi is suitable for many environments and applications ranging from memory care homes, occupational therapy, rehabilitation, assisted living, and home care. Basically, any room where there are grandparents and grandchildren can greatly benefit from an Obi unit. Over the past 12 months, hundreds of Obi units were successfully installed in some of the leading care homes in Israel, US, and Europe. On a recent survey done by one of our clients, the staff reported that 94% of the residents use Obi at least 3 to 4 times a week, and 57% use it every day. In addition, 94% observed general improvement, 84% observed social behavior improvement, 88% observed cognitive improvement, and 97% observed motoric improvement. We received very similar results from another independent survey done here in Israel as part of a project we've done last year with Shitufim Fund and the Ministry of Welfare in over 26 care homes using Obi. You can also see some of the positive feedback we received from our clients. A quick background about iClick. Founded in 2005 and backed by leading investors, we have 55 employees in Israel, New York, and Vietnam, and have over 10,000 installations of our interactive projectors for kids and adults in over 80 countries. We have an experienced management team and advisory board that comes from diverse backgrounds. Many of them are part of the team for many years. In terms of competition, there are several smaller companies competing with Obi, like Tovertafel and OMI. Our main advantages are our experienced team and mature technology, the fact that our games were designed for all cognitive skills and abilities and can be adjusted for individual differences, and the fact that Obi is the most cost-effective and versatile solution on the market today. Finally, as you can see, we have many plans going forward for Obi and a full product roadmap that includes development of usage analytics, product and content enhancements, as well as different partnerships and industry collaborations. I would like to finish this presentation with a short video.
המערכת הזאת מאפשרת לנו כאנשי מקצוע, כמרפאים בעיסוק, לטפל בו זמנית גם במרכיב הקוגניטיבי של הדיירים וגם במוטוריקה שלהם, תוך כדי שאנשים גם נהנים דרך המשחק שהוא צבעוני, נהנה וכיפי.
גם לצחוק ושמחה וחיוך, שזה הכי חשוב בעיניי.
Today we played this obi. I'd never heard of it before, but I can see the advantage is to get everybody screaming and yelling and digging around, and that's always an icebreaker. It's great.
They can enjoy together, and actually bringing them down together and see other residents is really good for them. Just with all the lights and the movements, you really see the residents light up and interact, and when you see that resident actually being their true self, it's something really nice to see.
Cognitive stimulation can actually decrease that cognitive decline in our seniors. So you can see from the OBI system with its interactive surface that they're engaging, it's bright, there's movement. So cognitively, their mind is getting a great workout, and it's proven that it can actually help them. Every care home needs to have a system like this because the enhancements in the quality of life that it presents for our residents, every resident deserves that.
אחד הדברים שאני מאוד נהנית זה לראות את הקשר הבין-דורי. לפעמים הביקור של הנכדים עם הסבים וסבתות יכול להיות או משעמם או קצת קשה להם, אבל שהם ביחד משחקים עם ה-OB סיסטם, הם מאוד מאוד נהנים. אני חושבת שהמכשיר הזה צריך להיות בכל בית אבות, דיור מוגן במרכז יום לקשיש. הוא פשוט מביא המון שמחה.
Thank you, Ariel. Questions? Karen?
I don't know if you said this already, but how much does OB cost?
Yeah, it starts from around $3,000. We also have a model which costs less than that and comes with a monthly subscription rate.
Oh.
Do you keep adding? Sorry. Do you keep adding content to it in terms of games that you can play? And what's the split between, you said you sell it for children and for older adults? What's the split in your sales between the geriatric market and younger market?
Right. So we are selling OB for kids or similar technology to OB for the past 15 years. So that's the major market that we sell to. That's our major experience. And we started selling to the senior care market about 12 months ago, actually when COVID started. So I would say right now about 90% of our business is kids-related business and 10% is senior care-related business, and we expect and hope it will change in the coming years. And regarding the games, we keep developing new games all the time. We have around 40 games right now that are designed for seniors, and we keep developing new games all the time, and all the games that we develop will be accessible to our clients.
Is there an add-on cost for the games? Is it like a razor blade model, or do you keep updating with new content?
So there are two possible models. Either you buy the unit with a fixed number of games, and then you can add more games by purchasing each game or package of game individually, or you would pay a subscription fee, and then you would have access to all the games that we develop over time.
I have two questions. One, do you have a strategy for the home care market? And two, are the games designed for children and then reconfigured for older adults, or is there a different team designing games for older adults?
Right. So we developed over 250 games initially for the kids market. And then when we started offering this product to the senior market, we used a team of experts, Professor Elchanan Goldberg for NYU, Dr. Michal Hertz, who is working with the World Health Organization. Both of them are experts in the senior care, and they help us to adjust and redesign the games so they are fit to cognitive and physical level of the senior population. And sorry, what was the first question?
About the strategy for the home care market.
Yeah, of course. So Obi is the first line of products that we offer to the senior market. Our next product line will be smaller, more cost-effective, and suitable for the home care. So if the product costs now about $3,000, that's the entry price. The next product line that we will develop will cost a few $100s to install in your home, and that would be suitable for the home care market.
You say, could you say anything about the technology or the uniqueness here of the product that you have?
Yeah, so we developed, there are several parts of the technology that we developed. First of all, the algorithms, the computer vision, AI algorithms that we developed for detection and tracking the movement of hand gestures, of body movement. This is something that we've been developed for the past 15 years, developed and optimized over time to be used by multiple users simultaneously in out-of-home environments. That's the core technology that we developed. Part of that is, another part of that is the content. We developed over 250 different games specifically designed to engage kids and seniors. So that's another part of our core competence and technology.
What is the rate of growth of such company? Not just the elderly, but altogether. I mean, on an annual basis, what is the growth that you see?
We see a growth of around 20-25% annually. And we expect in the coming years, the growth will be even bigger now that we offer our product both to the kids market and to the senior market, and we'll be adding to that the home product. We expect the growth will be much higher in the coming years.
Is it a profitable company?
If you didn't hear my last answer, then yes, it's a profitable company.
Thank you.
Okay, we must continue. So thank you, Ariel. Our last company today deals with the employment space that, as we all know, has a great influence on happiness and health parameters. So I'm happy to present Senior at Work.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexis and I'm the founder of Seniors at Work, the new freelancer platform for retired talents. The story of Seniors at Work started 4 years ago when my father entered the official retirement age. From one day to the next, my father was supposed to go into retirement. But for me as well as him, this was not an option. My father has had a long-standing career in the financial sector, and therefore a lot of working and life experience. Moreover, he was physically and mentally still fit and highly motivated to continue working. But how can he easily find any job opportunities? Many of the almost 1 billion retirees in the world are in a similar situation as my father. On the other hand, nowadays many companies are struggling finding suitable candidates. This is mainly due to the shortage of skilled workers. And in 10 years, it's going to be much more difficult, because then there will be even a shortage of more than 85 million skilled workers. So what is the problem? The problem is that there was no easy way to connect senior talents with companies in just a few clicks. That's why we have launched Seniors at Work. On the platform, you can easily search for senior talents in your area. At a glance, you can see the most important information about the senior talent, such as location or previous working experience. When you have found a potential candidate, you can contact him or her and organize the details of the project. An important service we offer is that we take care of the payrolling. We handle all the salary and insurance administration so that the employer and senior talent can only focus on the job. Furthermore, we are not only a digital platform but also a community. We offer networking events for personal exchange, as well as webinars or workshops for personal and professional development. Our target group is on the one hand senior talents age 60+, and on the other hand employers such as SMEs, startups or private individuals. Senior talents should be deployed where it makes the most sense for everyone, namely in one-time projects or small part-time jobs, in areas such as finance, mentoring crafts, or childcare. Generally, we can distinguish between two types of job platforms. First, there are generalist job platforms that do only classic matching. And second, there are temporary employment companies which taking care of contracts, insurances, and other admin efforts. Only a few platforms are focusing exclusively on elderly people as a customer segment. They are all still quite small, and none of them offers any payrolling services. And that's exactly how we want to differentiate, by taking care of all salary and insurance administration for the parties. In order to grow our user base on senior talents and employer side, we are focusing on these three measures. First, we invest in paid advertising campaigns on social media to grow fast and efficiently. Second, strong partnerships are important to us. That's why we work with the largest organization for seniors as well as one of the largest insurance companies in Switzerland together. And finally, we carry out various PR activities to show our success stories and to demonstrate the benefits of collaboration between young and old. Tackling 5 of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, Seniors at Work has a huge impact. We promote the intergenerational exchange, and we truly believe that the coexistence of young and old is essential and benefits everyone, the senior talents, the employers, and the society as a whole. Because only if we all pull together can we master all future challenges. With over 400 years of life experience, we have a very diverse team with a good mix of younger people who appreciate the immense life experience and know-how of our older team members. We are ready for the upcoming journey. If you vote, we can make our vision come true. A world in which age doesn't matter, where age is just a number. A world in which senior talents can stay active and fulfilled after retirement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexis. Question? Max, let's start.
Thank you for that. I mean, it's certainly a very important space that you're trying to work in. I know that one of the biggest challenges that older adults trying to find work have is that in general, HR departments aren't set up to hire older workers. A lot of them still look at, where you went to college on their application, and are generally used to hiring younger workers, and some are even ageist. So can you talk a little bit about how you're able to get those companies to even look at and hire senior workers in the correct way?
Yeah, this is correct. Like, one of our main challenges are the stereotypes against elderly people. And therefore, it's very important to show the success stories to the society and the economy, to show how senior talents can work with companies, what are the benefits, to show the positive experiences, and therefore reduce the stereotypes. Because also, if you look at the media at the moment, it's always about the negative points, about loneliness, it's about unemployment, etc., but nothing about the positive aspects. So this is very important to show them the success stories. And second, we also want to encourage the senior talents to make further education, to increase their skills, to be updated with the new technologies, and to show senior talents are motivated, they want to learn new stuff, and they are more than happy to support.
Other question? Yes, Bob.
Yeah, is your marketing more directed at the seniors or the people that would hire the seniors, or both? For example, you talked about using social media, and a lot of seniors don't do that very often. So just wanted to hear how you were focusing that.
So we have a two-side marketplace. So we have the chicken egg problem. So who do you need first? So first we need the senior talents, that we have a pool of profiles, resumes that employers can choose from. At the moment, we have more than 4,500 senior talents on our platform. And now we are focusing on the employers to get on the platform to hire them. And we also realized that not only corporates are interesting for us, but also private individuals. Because we saw now that a lot of expats, for example, they are looking for support with their taxes. Families, they need help with kids care, but also elderly care. We have a lot of families, they say we have 85-year-old father or mother, and she needs support, and they want to have a person who is in the same age. Therefore, we are focusing now primarily on the employers.
Okay, Mel?
Are you doing this just in Switzerland now? And what's your strategy to grow? Because, you know, if one of your value adds is to handle payroll and maybe taxes, etc., doesn't that vary wildly by geography to geography, or in the States, state by state? Or I'm from Canada, province by province.
Yes, so we only started 2 years ago. So at the moment we are still in Switzerland, but the goal is to expand in the beginning of next year to Germany and Austria, because also our partner Helvetia Insurance is also active in these areas. Yes, payrolling is different in each country, but we want to build also the technical platform and also the community. So the community with the networking events, but also with workshop, with seminars, this kind of services, it's not related to the country, to the legal environment.
Okay.
So it seems to me you're building a care.com equivalent, because they have caregiving jobs. And then there's work at home vintage entrepreneurs, which takes a vertical like the insurance industry and finds jobs in that industry. And then there's the fast growing company, Get Set Up, which is teaching people skills in digital environment. So it might be better to focus in one area versus all three.
You mean focusing like on payrolling, community, or matching?
Well, what happened with work at home vintage entrepreneurs in the US, and they're maybe 8 years old, is they took the insurance vertical and they found the corporate jobs in that space. And then they went to the accounting vertical. So they were able to recruit people in those two areas and help get them, you know, it was easy to find jobs for them in those areas. If you take on different verticals and you take on caregiving and you take on childcare, it's very different sets of skills. So I would recommend that you focus in one category versus all, both caregiving, childcare, and an industry category.
No, definitely. We see a lot of demand in finance sector. This is definitely also like from corporates and private individuals. So this is definitely also something which makes sense for seniors because they have the experience. They can also work from home, remote, which is also important in Corona times. And also for our other services with communities and payrolling, we work with partners together because our focus is really to build up this freelancer platform. Mm-hmm. And for the community events, we want to work with partners like with startups hubs and with corporates to organize the events. But we truly believe that these events are very important to show to the world our message, to show the potential of the senior talent, to show the positive image of a senior talent, and to show the full potential of the senior talent.
Now, after 2 years, how are the results that you see? I mean, what are the amounts or the number of people that are involved now and so on?
So at the moment, we have more than 4,500 senior talents on the platform and more of 1,500 employers. We matched so far 800 jobs between senior talents and employers, mainly one-time projects or part-time jobs until 2-3 days, because most of the senior talents, they don't want to work full-time. And mainly in the area of finance, mentoring, and kids care.
And just how do you make money again, please? I'm sorry, I'd like to understand that better.
So our main revenue channel are the success provision. So we take 5% of this of the hourly rate from the senior talent and also 5% from the employer side. And we also have a premium account for the senior talent. So they can register for free, but if they want to be ranked higher in the search results, they can buy a premium account for $70 a year.
Okay, thank you. Last question, because we have to go to voting. Last one. Okay, Alexis, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all our presenters. We will now go to a 10 minutes break for choosing our winner. Our judging audience, you will vote through a survey in the Zoom, and our judging panel, we will go to a separate Zoom room. So 10 minutes and we will back with the winner. So we are back and we have the winner. We are very happy to announce that the winner of this year, the International Agetech Competition 2021, is iClick from Israel. So we are very happy and very proud. Thank you all. Thank you very much. We promise to be back next year. And so we really are looking forward to welcome you here again. And thank you again. Bye.